Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're talking Bitcoin. We're talking weekly close positions, we're talking bear flags, and we're talking what potentially might be on the horizon next week. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not consider subscribing, stay up to date with all the live streams and videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Links are in the description below for our Discord server, our Patreon service, all that kind of good stuff, so why not check those out. And let's get right on into it. Right, let's start talking BTC. So I'm going to bring up our weekly chart here for Bitcoin. Okay, and what we really want to talk about is that kind of common narrative, that thing that a lot of people kind of get confused in the space. And that is going to be about bear flags. Okay, so essentially we're in the bear flag, and there's multiple different ways you can kind of do this, but we're going to take a look at it from this position. Okay, I like to use the wicks rather than the bodies of candles, but it doesn't really matter, whatever you prefer. It's just obviously I like to keep things consistent. The price went to a specific point, so I'm really interested in that, but sometimes it's better to look at it just from a close position, and in which case we'll go ahead and just take all the close positions, and you can kind of see it didn't matter too much in our analysis. But if we are going to use the close positions and open positions on one line, we should do it on the other. Okay, so let's talk about these bear flag situations. Okay, so here we can kind of see that we're kind of moving up, right? We're setting ourselves up with the higher highs and the higher lows, and a lot of people get really encouraged and feel the kind of, you know, a lot of FOMO around this particular time, and you end up with positions like this up here, for example, at 48k, and at that time we were saying we've kind of reached exhaustion, we're gonna have to move on down, we're gonna have to have a big crash. If you think back, we were calling anything from 32 to 47.5 was actually my target at the time, to kind of see this as a potential move to the downside, so we can swing up and we can trade on that swing high, and then of course we can move on down. Now I mention this now because this here is also a bear flag, and the bear flags are basically considered a big pole coming to the downside here, and then this set of higher highs and higher lows getting set. Now, as we kind of think about what's going on most recently, I've been calling again the very similar situation. We're kind of repeating ourselves. We have set this 17,622. Okay, we can see up here we've moved up with these higher lows, okay, and obviously we had with the wicks up here as well, but if we wanted to use the bodies, we could do the same thing. Doesn't really matter too much. If I take those bodies, we can put it here, and, you know, we can just go ahead and move this one up to those bodies as well. This is important because, again, you end up with the same situation. They have the pole coming on down, and we have the flag coming up here. Now, normally I'm all about Elliott wave theory, and, you know, for the most part, Elliott wave theory helps us understand what is likely to go on. We are, of course, looking for finishing some kind of corrective move to the downside. I say corrective because it's yet to prove itself to become a trend, and $14,600 BTC, this whole thing does become a trend, and that becomes a pretty big concern for Bitcoin holders. That being said, though, within these patterns of bear flags and bull flags and things like that, this is something we cannot ignore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down what is going on just here when it comes to this bear flag. Okay, so right within this structure here, we get a couple of things. One, we obviously last week saw that we plummeted down, and we closed well below our line here, okay? And this is an interesting kind of tell within our structure, okay? This is an important one because essentially at this point just here where we have this low, this is basically breaking out of our bear flag. This is the first breakout candle, okay? Now what we're looking for is confirmation, and that's what we're going to get within this weekly close candle, okay? And so this week here, if we do not close above, and let me just grab this up here, $21,900, then essentially I think it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath on Monday, and we're going to see a lot more downward price pressure. Now, obviously, there are some interesting things going on with the stochastic RSIs and the kind of the Elliott wave counts and things like that, but this is also something we should probably acknowledge, that there's going to be some emotional and some trading responses to this particular closed candle this week. So for Bitcoin here, we want to be very, very cautious because this does have a roll-on effect or a knock-on effect to pretty much most other altcoins as well, and many of them have been enjoying some pretty good runs recently, and I think that maybe next week they're going to be hit with a dose of reality. Obviously, we are in September, and 80% of Septembers, historically speaking, have been bearish. There is that 1 in 5, of course, where things can flip and turn around, but if we fail to close this weekly candle above 21,900, then I think there's a strong chance that the bears are going to take control of the situation and really take us down lower. And how low we might be thinking? Well, we're going to be significantly lower. I don't think this is going to be ending anytime soon, and we will probably be talking heading towards, unfortunately, that super bearish scenario where we can see and $14,600. Let me just run this up with the fibs for you so you can understand exactly what my concerns are here. So we have this initial pullback from the the $69,000 high point just up here. Then we move down to 32,000. That's down here. Okay, that becomes our little wave 1. We come up to the 48,000. That's our wave 2. And if we come down to this 14,578 in this case, but I'm pretty certain I've just miscalculated that. So it's about 14,600, but we'll just mark it there for now. So this particular bear flag, if this plays out and we do drop down and we come down to this area here, this is now a trend. Okay, this entire structure, this entire move down becomes a trend. Okay, then we would have some kind of bounce. Then we would have another pull taking us deeper, which of course, guys, could take us lower than that $10,000 that a load of people have been talking about for quite some time. So I really wanted to kind of do a video just to kind of keep everyone well up to date with what is going on when it comes to BTC. We have some pretty interesting things going on with Elliott wave theory. We've got the stochastic RSI's momentum indicators and all those good things, but there's also this other narrative that is a pattern that, you know, plays out time and time again, and I talk about it every day during the live streams. When we see these lower lows and these lower highs, or these higher highs and these lower lows, and these are not exactly bullish. They sometimes can play out as in a bullish kind of way, but unfortunately, these are just continuation patterns. And essentially, as a continuation pattern, we should consider what led into it. And in the case here for Bitcoin, coming on down into our bear flag here, this is the trend, or the kind of the movement before we actually started to bounce on up. And then we've got to continue this move to the downside, and when we come out of the continuation pattern. This is something that we've seen before, from the $69,000 down to the $32,000, moving up to the $48,000, dropping down to $17,500. Okay, so we are, of course, fully aware that there is some pretty bearish scenarios that are on the horizon here for BTC, and we should probably not, discount these as scenarios that are going to be playing out over the next few weeks as we kind of go into September. Obviously, we'll do you a proper kind of update tomorrow morning during our live stream, so do make sure that you subscribe and pay attention to that, where we talk about Bitcoin wallets, the Glassnode data, the inflows, the outflows. We take a look at the longs, the shorts, and of course, we'll take a look at all the liquidations as well. So it's well worth staying well up to date with the live streams every day on Cheeky Crypto. So guys, I'm going to leave this video right there. Hopefully you found it useful and informative. Maybe it gives you thoughts or cause for concern just to kind of be thinking about what might actually happen by Monday next week. So guys, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new, subscribe, tap the bell, and don't forget, guys, if you haven't joined us in Discord, link is in the description down below. Come and join us. It's completely free, and we'll have a conversation down there. I think it's a fantastic way to kind of stay in touch with the community and talk crypto. Guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.